Everybody, it's Tuesday Night Live. It's 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock West Coast time. I am Peter Vexelman. Hopefully by now you all know who I am. I got my partner Julie sitting here, and then we are very, very excited. We got an unbelievable partner of ours here today that we're going to introduce here in just a minute. But I know a number of y'all are still dialing in, and we want to welcome you guys. And guys, we love doing these Tuesday night webinars. They're exciting. This is something you probably have not seen before. Julie and I in the same. When was the last time we were together doing this?
I don't know. It was a long time.
I think it's been at least a couple months where Julie and I are actually together. We're actually right here out of our offices. We had an unbelievably busy day here. We got our other partner, Rafa, actually here. He's kind of behind the scenes there running the show. We had a bunch of great meetings. We just actually grabbed a bite to eat down the road. And we're just exciting for you all to be here.
And for those of you guys that are popping on, I'm so glad for you to be here. Billy, Darren, Steve, Tony, Ulysses, Eugene, Samuel, Tony, Miss, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And as you're popping on, I had this idea. Would you let us know exactly where you are? We got Kevin from Arizona. So glad to have you with us tonight, Kevin.
My goal here, and not too far in the future, to have partners that pop on with us, that we encompass all 50 states.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that is like my personal goal. I mean, I know right now we got people from all over the place already. And these are exciting times for us, guys, in terms of growth, in terms of what we're doing. You're going to meet a partner of ours, Seth, tonight. That is just – it's an exciting story, guys. For those of you all that are really in any stage in your business, beginning, been in it for a while, been in it for a long time, guys, you're gonna have an incredible treat here tonight when we talk with Seth and talk about some of the things we're doing. It's very exciting, guys. And literally we just got done having a bite to eat right down the road. And it's amazing, whereas before when Julie and I would get together, we're talking about our deals, right?
Yeah.
Now, guess what? The whole time we're sitting together, we're talking about partner this and partner that and doing this deal and doing that deal. It is just, it's mind boggling.
And I'm just so proud at everybody and all the deals that we're doing. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, we're closing on like 7 properties this week. People that are brand new in this business. And it's going to get them to a point to where they're leaving their full-time job to do this full-time. But I would like to say Billy from Pompano Beach, Darren from Syracuse, New York. We got Danville from Brooklyn, New York. I guess New York's in the house tonight.
New York is being represented. That is exciting, guys. We got some good stuff to go over. We're here in bright, sunny Atlanta, Georgia. It is like literally, I'm looking outside, crystal clear skies, really exciting weather. As a matter of fact, as we were chatting here, we're going to need to do this out of the lake house here one of these nights, maybe on the boat.
Oh yeah, we definitely should.
That'll be a cool thing.
I'll be on my jet ski, and you can just like look out like
Julie is scootering out there. So I will tell you, for those of you that are popping on, we appreciate it. We love having you guys here. We got a special partner with us here tonight. You guys are going to learn a ton. Are you still going to be popping in and out tonight? Just to
yes, okay. if that's okay. I've just got a few things I got to get done this evening. But I mean, guys, tonight, I mean, as much as I love being on these webinars and things, I can say this about Seth. As much as we've worked with Seth to get deals done over the years, I've learned more than Seth than I feel like I've ever given back to him. And that's a pretty incredible thing to say. I mean, he's a gentleman that I'm able to go meet maybe every 6-7 weeks over there in his office in California. And it's not just him, but over the years, he's been able to develop this team. And I don't mean just a team. He's developed his own family there in his marketplace of people that are absolutely amazing. And being a country girl from Georgia, Seth's completely changed my mind about California. Is that a little weird to say, but
Yes, that's like a foreign world to you, isn't it?
yes, it was. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, what an amazing state. So really glad to have you on, and I'll let you guys get to it. Thank you for being on this evening. Thank you, Seth, so much for being here tonight. I'm going to pop away if that's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, well, guys, it's a little bit after 7, so we're going to I know we have people dialing in constantly, and that's cool, and we're excited about having you guys on. I'm just going to go over to the regular housekeeping that we start out with, guys. We do these Tuesday night webinars for really 2 reasons. One is to encourage those of you all that are out there putting this business together. We know it's not an easy business. Even with all the success stories that we have on an ongoing basis, daily, we celebrate successes here. Successes you guys don't even hear about. Maybe a partner, negotiating their first deal. Maybe a partner saving a contract that they thought was going to fall through. I mean, we celebrate successes here. But I could tell you guys, those of you that have been part of this business, you also know this is not just a business of successes. It's a business of trials and tribulations, of ups and downs. It's a business that kind of messes with your mind a lot of times. And so that's part of the reason we do these. The number one reason why we do these Tuesday night webinars is we want to encourage those. We want to encourage you guys, those of you that are not part of our community just yet. You might be just peeking at us. You might be checking us out. You might be checking us out 6 months into the process, but you're still out there making things happen. We want to encourage you. We want to tell you guys that no matter where you are, if you're not part of our community, we want to tell you, if nothing else, you're in the right business. You're in the right business. You're doing the right things, and we feel you guys. We've been there, done that. There's nothing you guys have not gone through or not going through that either I or a member of our staff or one of our partners has not gone through. And we're really, really proud of you guys. And for those of you that are not part of our world, and you guys are just kind of, like I said, whether you're checking us out or trying to figure out if you need to get part of whether you need to be in our world sooner or later, that's one reason why we do these webinars. We just want to tell you guys that, hey, you guys are doing the right thing, and anything we could do to help you, we're here to help. But the second reason we do these webinars is that we are active investors. We do deals. We do a ton of deals. In 20 years, I've done, tons and tons and tons and thousands of deals. And our model here internally has changed. It has changed from basically see deal to do deal, which is what most investors do, right? Most investors, they find deals, they do deals, and they try to do them to the best of their capacity. Somewhere along the line, a while back, our model here changed from see deal to do deal to find a partner and do a deal with that partner. And we are a partner-driven real estate investment company. Almost all of the deals that we are currently involved in take place all over the United States, and they take place with individuals just like you guys. And, somewhere along the line, we made a decision here that we're going to build this business through partnerships. And there's a lot of reason for that. One, I, along with my partners, we wanted to do more deals. Okay. And we were like, well, how do we do more deals? Well, how about instead of trying to find deals ourselves, we find partners and help our partners find deals. So that increases our footprint across the United States. And we want more partners, guys. There's no question about it. We know that we here as a company are stronger when we have partners across the United States. And that's the second reason why we do these Tuesday night webinars. We want to have more partners, and we want to do more deals. And so part of the reason, that second reason why we do these webinars is we want you to have confidence in us that we are the partners that you're looking for. Guys, after doing thousands of deals, 20 years experience, all kinds of ups, all kinds of downs, all kinds of frustrations, all kinds of tribulations, all kinds of failures, all kinds of successes. From where I sit here today, will unequivocally tell you this business is done in a better way when you have a partner. And my rationale to that is very simple. If it makes sense for me to have a partner at my level with the access to money that I have, with the access to staff that I have, with the access to infrastructure that I have, with the access of resources, that if it makes sense for me to do this business with partners, then my argument is very simple. I think this is the ultimate way for you to do this business too. Because when you're partnering, you're creating symmetry. You're creating symmetry with the people you're partnering with. Everybody brings something to the table. I don't care if you're just beginning or if you're already experienced, but through partnerships, you have growth, you have experience, you have synergy, you have things that you're able to go to different markets. So for those of you after listening to us tonight or anytime during tonight's presentation, if you feel like, that makes sense. And by the way, when you're partnering with us, we bring a ton to the table, like a ton to the table. For instance, when you're one of our partners, we bring a very big, it really comes down to two things in the real estate. And if you're not quite where you want to be, I guarantee you lack either one of these two things or you lack both of these two things. And that's it. These are the two things, experience and money. And when you partner with us, wherever you may be and whatever level you may be, you're literally getting both of those things wrapped up into one. You're getting our experience and you're getting our money. And when you piggyback off someone's experience and you have their money, that puts you in a position of almost a win-win position. And so at this point, I truly do believe and I do feel like we truly have a win-win type of business model. So when you do become one of our partners, you piggyback off our experience. You piggyback off the fact that we coach and mentor you. You piggyback off, we literally generate leads for you right there where you live. You piggyback off to find you're using my money to buy the properties, my money to fix the properties. And then when we sell them, we split the profits. And if you're listening to this and you're like, well, that's a pretty cool thing, then we'd like you to be one of our partners anywhere in the United States. So sometime tonight, we want you to visit our website at that's 4 W's, www, 3 W's, www.coachingbypeter. And there you can get more information how you could join us in our partnering program. Guys, that is the second and the final reason why we do these Tuesday night webinars. We want more partners, and we want to showcase to you on these Tuesday night webinars. We want to showcase you our knowledge. We want to showcase you our experience, and we want to showcase you some of our partners that we're doing deals with. And again, if this is something that you want to pursue further, please visit our website sometime tonight, or if you're watching this in a recorded format, or after the webinar, just simply go to www.coachingbypeter.com, and there you will learn everything you need to know about our partner-driven program. So here it is. It's time to proceed, guys. And it's funny. What's not funny is just reality. No matter what you're involved in, no matter if you're a part of a team, if you're part of an industry, if you're a part of a movement, all those things take people. Teams take people. Movements take people. Organizations take people. Companies take people. All the time to build something that has masses in it, it takes people. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but in the midst of all that, some people rise to the top. Again, it doesn't mean that you can't be part of a team, and you could be out of 20 people on that team, you could be like the third at the bottom. But if you're part of a winning team, that's still pretty darn good, right? But usually every team has people that just rise to the top. They shine, they showcase, they're just really, really kill it. And that's who we have with us tonight. We got one of our partners that if you follow me at all on social media, if you follow Julie, if you follow our organization, every once in a while we'll throw names out. And for those of you that have been following me, there's a name that I tend to throw out because I'm so freaking proud of this guy. And that is who we have on with us today. He's got a great, see, I'm already taking credit for everything here. But Seth's got a great and amazing story. Most importantly, it's a relatable story. What you're going to hear Seth talk about tonight, you're not going to hear some kind of he grew up with a dad that's had 800 apartment buildings and whatever, and now he's taken over. You're not going to hear somebody that says, I came in here and I had millions of dollars in capital. You're not going to hear somebody tonight when it comes to Seth that's going to come in here and said, I had some amazing things going for me. What you're going to hear tonight is you're going to hear a real life guy that's been with us for a couple years. and he is he has become an absolute superstar. And I could tell you, Seth is the epitome. Like, if I can like draw out, when people get in this business, we pretty much all go through the same thing. We go through crap. We want to quit. We doubt. We blah blah blah. We have challenges. Like, if I could just, and I try to whenever possible, share Seth's story, guys. It's so relatable. It's so in line with what so many of us had to go through to be to where we are, what so many of you guys are going through. So as amazing as what Seth is doing now with us, and it is amazing. We're going to share some figures with you guys here in a minute. We're going to share some stories. But the cool thing that I really, really love about Seth, he's just a regular guy that a couple years ago made a decision that this was going to be his future. And he's just had an absolute like when I was in this business as long as Seth has, like he's been with us for a couple years into this business, I was recovering. I mean, literally recovering. Forget making money. I was just trying to get to zero. I mean, where I was 20 years ago, where Seth is now, I was literally, my head was spinning. I was losing everything. I was making every single mistake. I was, blah, blah, blah. But Seth has had an absolutely meteoric, rise in this business. I'm proud to call him beyond a partner now. He's really become a friend. I've been beating him up about like, dude, we got to meet, Vegas trip, mountain trip, come up, visit us to the lake house. Yes, but he does. I'm going to pick on you, Seth. You do take trips. Why have you not come out and hook up with me here? Because the guy, like I hear from my office, oh, Seth is gone. So like he does take trips. He does travel. He and his wife have an unbelievable lifestyle as a result of this business. So I'm just putting some pressure on him that we better have something booked here. But anyway, I'm doing all the talking. I want to introduce you guys to Seth Choate. He's been with us for a couple years. Seth, just tell us a little bit about not an exorbitant amount of time, but before you got into real estate, give us a little history about yourself.
Okay. Thank you for having me. That's quite the introduction. Hopefully I can live up to that. But for me, you're looking for an introduction, how I got into real estate and what I did.
Yep.
So when I came into this business, I actually wanted to be a teacher. And at the time I was going through school and I was selling yellow page ads to make a living and pay for things. Well, that job was a dead end job. I mean, there's no phone books today. And so I realized that was dying. But the frustrating part was I was going to quit that to go be a teacher and I was going to take a pay cut. So I knew in my head that was a mistake. That turned me to take a shot at real estate. I knew nothing about it. And so I went and got my real estate license. And that's kind of how I started as a realtor. And I was banging my head against the wall for several years as a realtor, doing okay until, 3 years ago, I think we met. Right around 3 years ago is when you and I met at a mastermind. And actually, I don't even think we met, but I saw you speak. And from there, I just kind of hunted you down and continued to find a way to get into your world. And from there, it's really turned into like more than a partnership. Like you said, it's like family. We're like family, and it's a really awesome thing that we've got going on.
Yeah, that I still, it's like we got so many things going on. I mean, I literally can't remember today what I ate for breakfast, but I do remember a little while back when Seth started with us, he actually took a trip out here, and you had some pressures back then, right? You're about ready to get married. You're in a career, a little bit of a flux of a career. So tell us a little bit why you decided real estate. You could have been, like you said, you were selling phone books, maybe wanting to be a teacher. I'm sure you were so young. There were 30 other things you could have done. You could have gone to car sales. Hell, you could have gone up to school. You're so young. You were 20 when you started with us?
I was 24.
Yeah, 24. You could start a career. You could start really any career. You can go back to college. Why did you choose at that point to go into real estate?
So for me, real estate was the reason for real estate is I realized I was good at sales. I realized I could go out and hustle and sell something. I figured, why not go sell the biggest asset people buy in their life? And to me, I could go sell a car, make $500, or I can go sell a house and make 10 grand. And it's going to take the same effort. So I went for the bigger price tag. And I thought that being able to help people sell, buy, things of that nature, it just fascinated me, the world of real estate. And the other thing that I kept hearing is most millionaires are made in real estate.
And so when you started with us, you actually had a license, correct?
I had a real estate license, and that's all I was practicing. And the crazy thing was, it was just exhausting going that route. I was banging my head against the wall. I actually partnered with Peter thinking I was going to get listing leads. I was so foolish thinking I was going to get some kind of listing deals and this and that. And I started going that way. And then these wood shacks started appearing in front of me that in the ghetto. And I'm like, well, how the hell do I sell these? And it would just kind of transformed into, we bought one and flipped it, and bought another and flipped it, and it turned into a machine.
Yeah, and absolutely at this point we have a machine, and here in a little bit I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more how that machine runs. It's unbelievable what we're doing right now. But Seth, a lot of times when I hear, like when people hear your name, or they hear us talk about you, or we hear people talk about the successes we're having with partners like you, the thing that comes to their mind, well, that's him, and they don't even know what that means. Like, well, they just think that you had an advantage coming in. They thought you might be in the right location. They thought you might have come in with a ton of money. You might have. Looking back at it, did you really have any advantage coming into this business?
Zero. I just had hustle. I mean, if you look at my background, my dad's a truck driver. My mom works as an aide at a school. I had to take and max out my credit cards to start working in real estate. I had no money. We're talking broke. And we had to put our wedding on a credit card. Didn't have a penny. So no, I didn't have any advantages at all.
Now you don't have to get into too much specifics, but I think this is a hilarious story. I'm glad you brought that up. So when Seth got started with us, he was like, I don't know, a couple months, 5 months away from getting married.
It was probably like 2. It was up there.
He was a couple months away from getting married, and there was some pressure on you, wasn't there?
There was a lot of pressure to pay for the wedding and some other finances and stuff like that. We were actually living with my wife's mom at the time. So yeah, to say there was pressure is an understatement. I mean, it was uncomfortable.
So Seth, talk about, and I tend to block these things out, but I know when I got started, I faced, what I consider to be a lot of challenges and all this. Talk about a little bit some of the challenges that we or you faced when we got started a while back. I mean, I'll tell you what I think some of the biggest challenges people face are mental challenges, okay? Because they immediately start, when things aren't going well mentally, they start messing with themselves, So talk about some of the challenges in the beginning that you were facing. Like what were the things that were kind of keeping you up at night?
So one of the scariest things for me that I can always think of is not knowing how to write the contract, or not knowing how to negotiate the deal, or being scared that I'm going to sign a contract overpriced and get us into a deal where we can't make it work. I was always in the beginning, you get caught up in thinking you need to know everything, but that's the big mistake, because everybody tries to do it perfect and then they do nothing. The only way you learn is by diving into this thing. It is going to be scary, but that is the only way that you can actually grow as a human, is by doing. And I think once the most successful people, they dive in and figure it out later. That was probably my biggest hurdle.
Yeah, it's funny because back then we corporately here, we were just starting to really embrace this partner model. And it's funny, as much as Seth is saying he had challenges or he had doubts, or he had certain things that kept him up at night, I did too. I was like, I remember I would, and Seth was like, well, I don't know if you always did it, but after you got to know me, you definitely started doing it. We're both very early in the morning kind of guys. And even though he's a West Coast guy, I'm an East Coast guy. I remember there were times where I would take my morning walks, and I would be like on the phone with Seth, and I'd be like, dude, I know we could do it. I know. I know we could do it, Seth. I believe in you. And then I hang up the phone. I'm like, holy crap, I hope this kid can do it. Like we gotta make this thing, we gotta make this thing work. So, for you it was a brand new industry. For me, it was kind of a brand new model. And I know we'd always say the right things to each other. And I remember I'd be like hanging up the phone like, man, I don't know if this kid could do it. I hope he could listen. But that's one thing that I'm so, I love to use guys like you as examples from a standpoint of the things. It's like, it seems like successful people have certain characteristics. And the one thing that I always brag about you is you're the one guy, not that you didn't ask questions, not that you didn't maybe in the back of your mind challenge things, but you just did them. You just did them. You knew I had 17 or 16 years on you back then in terms of experience. You knew at that point I had a lot of more deals on you. The one thing I really, really, really liked about you, Seth, is you just did it. You just did it. We said, okay, here's what we got to do. You did it. We said, okay, here's the challenge. Okay, here's how you overcome it. You did it. It's that blind faith. It's not a stupidity kind of a thing. It's not being naive, but you just flat out did what needed to be done. But deep down inside, and this is the thing that I always try to get people to understand, did you still not doubt somewhat? Were you scared in the beginning? Did it not sometimes keep you up at night whether or not this thing is going to work? Nobody knew it was going to work to the level it's working today. We're about ready to share with you guys this month, we're making about $250,000 in a month. Okay. But Seth, going back to when we started, did you have doubts?
Oh, there's tremendous fear, and you worry and you doubt yourself and you wonder what you're getting into several times in the beginning. But at the same time, if you don't take that risk, what are you going to do? Go to make 30, 40 grand a year. I think we make these stories up in our head. So worst case scenario, I'm back making 40 grand a year. Best case scenario, we're making $1 million a year. Like, it's well worth that risk. And I think a lot of times we put too much on that fear that I had every day. But what I also recognized is I had a partner with 17 years experience on me. Why go try to figure that out on my own? That's one of the things that I've been most successful at, is I will go find the badasses. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on here.
That's all right. Anything goes here.
I will go find people, and I will fast forward my learning curve. So when Peter sat and talked, all I did was just soak it in, and go out and apply it.
Yeah, and another thing that I hear people talk about almost inevitably is they always talk about where they're located. And the conversation usually goes like this: oh gosh, Pete, I'm in such an area. It just doesn't work here. Or I'm in such an area. It doesn't work here. So Seth, tell us a little bit about this unbelievable area you're in where we're just making this killing. Is this so unbelievable? Is it so unusual where we are?
So I think actually I live in the area where they say it's the worst place to buy a house, California. Like, it's impossible, right? Well, we do. We're buying 6 this month. We're selling 4 this month. It's just in head. I own several rentals here. People say you can't buy rentals in California. It's all a mindset, and it's complete BS.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. So how long, and again, some of this is like reminiscing for me a little bit. How long did it take us to put our first deal together? When we actually, from the time we pulled the trigger to the time we actually started putting deals together, what was our ramp up time about?
I think we closed our first one relatively quick. I think we got our first. Now, I don't know that we actually bought our first sale. I think we did a wholesale on the first couple. I think we did that within a month, if I'm not mistaken.
And we did. In the beginning, we went towards a wholesaling model. And see, that's a little bit on me too, because I did kind of think, okay, we're in California, maybe a little bit riskier, a little bit higher end stuff. So in the beginning, Seth and I, we progressed towards this wholesale model where we felt like, okay, let's just make something on whatever we can. And now, did you wholesale them? We didn't utilize the MLS there, right? You wholesaled them yourself?
We found endgame buyers off the market. We never actually used the MLS over here. We didn't do that long. I was quite green in that stage. And I think what we recognized was the opportunities to make the cash and the flipping. It didn't take us long to see the opportunities there.
You know, again, see, from my end, the way I measure partners or the way I measure people really any longer, I don't measure them by how much money we make in the beginning, because sometimes you can make money right away and it's nothing more than you just got a little bit lucky. And so what I usually measure people by is like, how are they how are they reacting situations? How are they handling issues? How are they handling problems? How do they handle tough times? And in the one thing that really, really impressed me with you, Seth, is because we tinkered with our model there, if you remember. Wholesaling, flipping things to realtors, which you actually really took off on. And we'll talk a little bit about how you built a team around you. But it took us a moment to really zero in, probably about 5-6 months to really zero in, maybe longer. I might be wrong. It might have taken us more than 5 or 6 months to really zero in.
The year. And I think it was like the first year we were probably wholesaling properties and trying to figure that out and wade through those waters. But continuously, after a while, I started seeing what they were putting the properties back on the market for and realized, okay, we're doing all the hard work up front, getting the deal. They're making all the money on the back end. And so I realized quickly that we had to, we talked through it and made a decision together. Let's pivot this thing. And it's been excellent.
Yeah, it has. I still remember the first couple properties I started investing. Really, I invest in you if you think about it. And I was thinking, man, I hope the guy knows what he's doing. I hope he's got the right construction people. I hope he knows how to do some things. But one thing I always tell people is that we get rewarded for doing the right things. So, and I don't remember how long Roger's been with us. To talk a little bit about just how you found Roger's our construction guy there. Talk to people a little bit about how long it took us to find our real construction guy there and just some of the things that he's being able to do for us.
So we actually found Roger. Roger was one of the guys we were selling houses to.
Okay.
And the light bulb went off when I watched him buy a house from us and turn around and sell it for over $100,000 more. And I said, what? How that's crazy. And so him and I created a relationship. We'd sold him deals. I'd watched him fix several deals. And he actually, when we took the risk of flipping houses, Roger was the one who walked me through how to do the first one. And he was there every step of the way on our first deal, which first one we made $80,000 on. And since then, that was 2.5, 3 years ago, he's been our contractor every step of the way. And he's just a complete animal. When you find those people, you take care of them. And we do take care of Roger. He's like a partner to us as well. It's fantastic. Yeah,
that's, one of the things that people get to do with us when they partner with us is they pivot off of what we've created here. Obviously our money, our people, our infrastructure, but ultimately the goal to make all of our partners self-sufficient to as much degree as possible. And so now, Seth, you've developed a team yourself, right? So talk a little bit, now that we're a couple years into the process, talk a little bit about how you're set up from a team perspective.
So I run a couple different branches. We have a real estate team that's 7 agents, and we'll close over 100 what we call retail deals with the brokerage. We did over 100 deals last year there. And then we have this investment leg with Peter and Julie where we will flip homes. And I think last year we were close to 30 homes that we flipped. The nice thing about the model is we send out the realtors to go and lock up the deals and put them under contract. And then because we have that real estate team, we save money on our costs, on fees and everything on the back end. It's very helpful. But what happens is we're generating leads to put out to these agents, and in turn, they're bringing back deals for us through their sphere of influence. They're bringing back their cousin, their brother, this and that they're selling a house to, and we're taking advantage of that. And it's a great partnership.
So interesting. So what Seth has done is he's developed a team, which is what we always help our partners do, ultimately develop their own teams. So what do you think, percentage-wise, from the deals that we do internal marketing for and we get to how many your agents bring us? What's that breakdown percentage-wise?
So out of our retail deals, are you talking retail or investment side?
Or investment side. How many are brought in from the agents directly, and how many are brought in percentage-wise from our internal marketing?
We probably have about 65% of our flips are generated from our internal marketing, and I'd say 35% are generated from our team identifying them through cold calling or something of that nature where they pick off a deal.
So that's a pretty cool thing, because, you know, one of the things that we showcase to our partners is that we actually generate leads for them. But then we also showcase that we want our partners to ultimately be savvy investors. So here's a perfect example. Someone like Seth, who the leads that we're still generating about 65% of our investment deals, but 35% are coming right back from the infrastructure that Seth has been able to, with our help, set up and maintain himself. I'll tell you a funny story. I'm not going to use names, but it's funny, Seth. You probably don't even know this, but in my phone, when I pull up your name, it actually comes up Seth and another guy. Starts with the letter G. You probably know who I'm talking about. So initially when we met Seth, and he started with us, he brought in a partner, and it was going to be Seth and a partner partnering up with us. Well, that partner of Seth bailed on him. I don't know, how long did it take for him to bail on? Did he even start, really?
He bailed on me.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But did he even start with you, or did he bail right away?
No, so the story gets a little crazier. So we had a flight out to meet with Peter to see if it was going to be the right fit. And the morning of the flight, he decided, nope, I'm not going. And I was a 24-year-old kid who did not know what I was doing. And I was just like, well, I'm going. I'll figure it out. And so I jumped on the plane and flew out to Atlanta, and the rest is history.
Well, but the funny part about it, I don't know if you remember, the last time I came visit you, we were standing outside your office, and you pointed and you said, there's Mr. G right there. I'm sure you didn't even know who the heck I was. And that's so funny. That partner of yours that was going to do this with you bailed on you before it even got started. I mean, I'd love to know the incomes, the difference between and I know he was more advanced than you in this business, right? When he started?
That's why I wanted to bring him on. And the tables have significantly turned.
Yeah, that is so funny. He says, like, that's the guy that I was going to partner with, and now he's still just a regular old agent doing, regular old listings and all that. So that is absolutely awesome. But Seth is really, like he says, we kid around about him. I've been telling him, listen, Vegas trip, let's go do it. And he's just so busy. Seth does have an incredible lifestyle. He and his wife literally, seems like once a month you guys go somewhere now, right?
Yeah, we're planning a trip to Costa Rica right now.
Yeah, okay, well, no kidding. So, but he has developed, he is literally living the lifestyle that we all get into this business for. We get into this business for two things. We get in it for money, we get in it for lifestyle. Almost everybody who does this thing themselves never achieves either one of them. Some people, or the people that achieve the money side, almost always lose the lifestyle because they set this business up incorrectly. And so they do make money, but they make it in the conventional way where they're trading time for money. Seth is not like that. He is literally you're still in your 20s, right?
29.
Of course. I'm like, it could be your grandfather. So Seth is already in his 20s. He lives an amazing, he has achieved the lifestyle side of this business, and he has achieved the financial side of this business. So to me, that is just absolutely positively amazing. So just rattle off last several months. Where have you guys been?
Oh, last several months. I was in Park City, Utah. I was in Cancun. I was in Punta Cana. I'm going to Costa Rica. I was in Texas last week, San Diego. That's the last 5 months.
That's the kind of stuff that people like in conventional jobs would take probably 7 years to go through because they could only leave once a year for a week. Seth in his 20s done that in the last 5 months. So amazing, totally amazing. So Seth, listen, let's just go. And I know you're pressed for time. So I had Seth text me before we got on the phone here. This is just what we're doing this month. This is this month alone. We're buying 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We're buying 5 properties: Tule, Elmwood Country Club, San Joaquin, Sleepy Hollow. Are we Are we fixing flipping all of those?
Yes, we are.
All right. But we're selling Laurel, 4th, 9th, and Kermit. And this is just off the top of your head because I know we're kind of scrambling to get this in tonight. Any idea how much we're going to be making on Laurel about?
We're going to make about 90 grand.
Okay. Laurel, we're going to make about 90 grand. 4th Street, any idea how much we're making about on that?
We're going to make about 65.
We're going to make about 55 on Laurel. 9th Street, any idea?
60.
About 60. So that's 90, 140. That's about 200,000 on those. And any idea about on Kermit?
40.
40. So that's this month. That's about $250,000 of profit that we're making. And guys, I'm telling you, as exciting as this is, I feel, and I know Seth does too, we're just ramping this thing up. I mean, we're a couple years into this business, and it still feels like we're just ramping it up. It just literally feels like we're grooving on all the cylinders. Our negotiators are hitting it out of the ballpark. Our marketing is really dialed in. Guys, $250,000 a month. Think about that. Most people don't have $250,000 years. We got $250,000 a month off 4 deals, and we have 1, 2, 3. We have 5 deals that we're buying. We're selling 4 for about $250,000, and we're bringing 5 new ones on board. And this is a 20-some-year-old kid. And I know some of you guys, and I say kid because you're a buddy of mine. I'm just saying you're not a kid. You could be my kid, you know. But I say this, and I know some of you guys are in this business, and you're kind of doubting this thing. You know, you're kind of doubting you, the location, ability, inability. Your friends are out there telling you you're doing the wrong thing. I'm telling you, you know, before we started tonight, I was having dinner with my partners here tonight, and I told them this is going to be a marquee kind of a webinar. Not from a standpoint of just showcasing numbers, but I'm telling you, this is a marquee kind of webinar that you guys need to listen to over and over again. This is not a webinar where you're going to learn incredible techniques. You're going to learn incredible strategies. Julie and I will teach you those. And if you're a partner of ours, you know we teach you that every day. This is a marquee from a standpoint of true belief. This is a webinar you need to listen to. See, when I started this thing 20 years ago, everything went wrong for me. I lost money. I made mistakes. I lost relationships. I was doubting myself. I was questioning everything. But somewhere along the line, I always had these triggers that I would pull towards. You know, like this kept me around for 2 months. This kept me around for 2 weeks. This kept me around for another day. This is a webinar you guys need to listen to over and over again. Because there's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about Seth. There's nothing special about anyone in my organization other than we just chose to hang around long enough. That's it. We just chose to hang around long enough. And this is, like, think about this. If you truly believe that months where you're making $250,000 a month are possible, what are you willing to do that? I mean, what price are you willing to pay to get to that level? See, the problem with most people in this business is you just don't truly believe. You say you believe, you tell people you believe, but you truly don't believe. Because if you truly 100%, just as sure as you are that the sun is going down today and coming up tomorrow, truly believe that you're within a couple short years away from $250,000 months, what truly are you willing to do? Are you going to keep on doubting? Why doubt? It's a done deal. It's a done deal. And so today, the reason I'm so excited about having someone like Seth on this webinar is that here's a guy that was just like me 20-some years ago that just believed. And it's funny you said what you said because that's exactly where I was 20 years ago. I had no other options. See, you could have been a teacher. I couldn't even been a teacher because I flunked out of school. So why would you teach something you can't? I couldn't even maybe I could have made 40 grand. I don't know what the heck I would have done. Maybe some kind of sales. See, I had no other options. And Seth put himself in a position a couple of short years ago to realize there are no other options for him. And right now, Seth is an absolute. He's a phenom in this business. And Seth, I'm not saying this because I tell you this. What we have is magical. What we have is an absolutely magical thing, guys. And I'm just so proud of what you've done, Seth. Honestly, you are just epitome of why people need to do this business. You got he's got a team now. How many assistants do you have? You have a couple assistants that work for you, right?
2 assistants, 7 agents.
2 assistants. I mean, who has assistants in California? Like movie stars and race car drivers. Like how many 20 and rappers, right? So here's who's got assistants when they're 20s. Drug dealers, rappers, movie stars, and Seth. Okay, that's it. Those are the people that have assistants. I didn't have an assistant when I was 20, right? I probably could have been someone's assistant, but I didn't have an assistant. So here's a 20-year-old kid that in the last 5 months has been to like 7 unbelievable places. He and his wife are taking out, where's it, Puerto Rico you're going to?
Costa Rica.
Oh, Costa Rica, Puerto Rica, say just Ricas. They're taken off to, to one of these exotic places. I mean, what other proof do you need? You don't. I mean, it's it. I mean, really, ultimately, everybody has to make their mind whether or not they want to do this. So, Seth, I know you got to run. It's about $250,000. See, I talk to you and I talk in numbers. It's about $250,000 till. I know we only had you this long. You've probably taken off somewhere. So, in your own words, Seth, we got a bunch of people on tonight. I know this thing's going to go viral. Just from heart, what do you want to tell to somebody who is in that beginning stage of this business, who is struggling, who is doubting? Like, put yourself to where they are, which is where you were a couple years ago. What message do you want to share with them?
The most successful people, there's always going to be tough times. No matter what, I will continue to have them. Peter will continue to have them. But what makes us successful is we just continue to grind forward during those times. We don't give up. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there right now who are strapped, who are having difficult, very, very difficult times making ends meet. You need to go knock on that other door. You need to make that extra phone call. You need to continue down this path because you're literally like right there from making it happen. You don't realize it. It seems like it's so far away, but boom, that one seller says yes, and you're going and you're off to the races. It's just continue to grind at that and believe in yourself, and don't let that self-doubt and that self-talk up there talk you out of doing this business.
Man, that's awesome. All right, I kept you 2 minutes longer than I promised, so I'm going to finish off myself. You could sign off. Seth, you're a friend. You're an awesome partner. You better get I want a weekend. Put it in the calendar. I think I got talked to Julie and Rafa into coming, so we'll have a real partner-driven weekend somewhere. We'll do a lot of good stuff. So I want a date from you, okay?
We're looking at this week.
All right, man. Peace, Seth. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, this is it right here. I mean, what else can I say other than this is what our partner-driven program is all about. It's about this. It's about relationships. I mean, it just so happens that in our relationships, we do real estate deals. But this is what it's about. I mean, just to be able to say that our team here had a little piece into that kid's, I keep on calling him kid, he's only in his 20s, he is a kid, to his success. I mean, think about how bright his future is. In your 20s, to be doing what he's done, to learn the life lessons he's done, to make the kind of money he's made, to be able to show his wife what being a real husband that's willing to pick up his bootstraps and do whatever it takes. He's got a baby that's going to grow up in a kind of lifestyle to die for. That's what this business is all about. And this is why we don't really chase our own deals anymore. We chase partners. Everything we do here is about our partnerships with guys like Seth. That's what this is all about. And we want more partners. We want to do more deals. We want to create more relationships. We want to have we just had like about 50 of our partners here in our Atlanta office a couple weeks ago. What an amazing weekend it was, not only from the fact that the kind of teaching that was done there, but the kind of relationships that were built there. And so we truly feel like what we're doing is beyond doing deals. We're building a movement. We're building a movement and helping people get to that next level in life. And it just happens to be real estate is what we use because that's our level of expertise. But I could tell you, we here in our business and our infrastructure, we know all our partners' names. We talk about them all the time. Their names are across our boards outside of here in a different office with the deals we're doing and the deals that are coming up. And so if what Seth said today resonated with you and you feel like, you know what, this is the way to go. Why not utilize other people's money? Like truly utilize other people's money. Not like use their money, but you got to put 20% down. why not utilize somebody's infrastructure, somebody's expertise? If that makes sense to you, then you need to be part of our partner-driven coaching program, because this is exactly what we do with partners all over the United States. So if you want to learn how to be one of our partners literally anywhere in the United States, we need to visit our website at www.coachingbypeter.com. That's www.coachingbypeter.com. If what you hear on this webinar is like, I'm ready to go, I don't care what, I'm willing to invest, I'm willing to do what it takes, then you can call me directly and we'll get you started immediately. That's God forbid for somebody that's like, I'm in. And my phone number is 404-915-9685. We want to do more deals. We want to help more guys like Seth become successful. We want to find more partners. Guys, I enjoyed it. These kind of webinars, these kind of Tuesday nights are my favorite. Absolutely favorite, because it's not about us. It's about our partners, and that's what our partner-driven program is all about. So over and out. We'll see you guys back here next week. We got some cool people coming up, some cool partners, some cool deals. Hope you guys have an amazing week, and we'll see you guys next time. See ya.